Welcome to Gold Derby. I'm Denton Davidson here with PGA Awards nominee John Hoffman, co-creator, executive producer, and writer for Only Murders in the Building. So, John, you're presented with an opportunity to work with Steve Martin and Martin Short, two legends of television comedy life. Can you talk about, what was that feeling, first of all, and what were you thinking when this opportunity presented itself to you?
No question, I was intimidated. And just hearing you say that right now, I'm immediately intimidated. But it's been the most welcoming experience and supportive. The greatest part of this has been the support. And that started with Dan Fogelman, who is our great shepherd on this, producing wise, and Jess Rosenthal, his producing partner. Who called me up one day, sat me down and said, we're looking for someone to showrun and co-create a show with Steve Martin based on an idea he has. And that was, you don't say no to that. and you immediately cross your fingers, dive in, and hope that they all like your ideas that you've brought to it. And that happened over a dinner with Steve and Dan and Jess. And again, just the spirit of, it's very rare when you've got producers who hear ideas and embrace them and make them better. And that has happened along the way on this one in such marked ways that I feel humbled to be with this group, obviously. And then Steve and Marty, I think, that history and that familiarity and those incredible talents are sort of embedded in me and my DNA from growing up and watching them, like most people. And if there was some sense of assurance that we could do this and I could sort of help shape the characters and shape the production, it was based a lot in what I knew about the kind of elevated comedy that they've both done for all of their careers. And that helped guide me in a lot of ways to sort of cross my fingers every time a script went in and said, does that sound like you? And does this seem like the territory of comedy we're talking about? Because there were big leaps we were taking with the show too. And again, just this very, very open-armed, we love it, let's go roll with that. It wasn't great resistance met on the creative side. It was the exact opposite.
And you've worked on Grace and Frankie as well with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin. So what is your connection with this generation of stars and makes you so passionate about wanting to make sure they continue to be represented on TV? Because you're proving that age is nothing and these shows can be hits and they can be funny.
Yeah, well, first of all, I only will work with legends. That's now my thing. And I really genuinely, I can't believe it. As you say, I hear my own life reflected when you tell me what I've been doing. And it's shocking to me. But I'll tell you, it's natural in some way too, because I just love the people that I've gotten the chance to work with in the last 10 years. Jane, Lily, Martin Sheen, Sam Waterston. That collection taught me so much about producing, about directing, about writing, about the way you work as professionals, just unbelievable professionals, all of them. And then to find myself in a next situation with the exact same kind of thing in just the spirit and, the real appreciation, that's what I love about the incredible thing of the obvious thing is the talent that's involved with the people I've gotten to work with, but the joy at watching at a time in their lives, something happen for them that's very unexpected to them and helping to introduce to an entire generation, people that the other half of the audience that we have know like in their bones. So that marriage of watching a generation awaken to these incredible talents over the last 10 years that I've had the opportunity to work with them. And also to hopefully show a new side, push forward, and just give work to the people who should be working. I mean, my Lord. And that's the thrill of these opportunities that are now happening in streaming television. I want to do more of it.
And in terms of Only Murders in the Building, it's this genre. I mean, it's a comedy, but it's genre bending. It's a murder mystery. It's suspense. So what's the most difficult part about making sure all of those elements work together?
That was a real leap of faith and a real challenge. But it was born out of I think big discussions with Dan Fogelman and Jess Rosenthal and Steve Martin. And Steve's work certainly comedically over the years has taken leaps off of just normal comedies and reached for something a little bit higher. So when he came with this idea that was he was a real true crime aficionado. He loves mysteries. He's very much into them. And so I was like, okay, good. He knows this world, really well. And the mix of how do you take these two guys plus Selena Gomez and imagine what that comedy pocket that they might find could be, and then land it in a very grounded and real and connected story about isolation and loneliness at a time in all of their lives where they might come together through a shared interest over these true crime stories and then be thrown into something like this. It just felt like an opportunity to make an idea that on paper might seem a little more expected leap off a little bit. And it really came from the talents of the people involved, and then hoping that, they might spark to those leaps we were taking with genre, with tone, and that it might all work in concert together. There was great faith with studio network producers across the board that I was amazed by, because that doesn't happen all the time. And you need real talent to look at it and go, yeah, that's the one. Let's do that.
And what did the experience on this specific project teach you that might be unique from experiences you've had in previous work? I mean, what will you take away from this process?
This has been, whereas you brought up Grace and Frankie, and I was really schooled by tremendous producers and Marta Kaufman and Howard Morris on that one. And also, as I said, the talent involved. This one is so singular in my own life. I just can't believe the feats that I watched everyone pull off during this time. As many of the producers have mentioned, all heroes and all brilliant work involved with everybody who's been speaking on this panel. And we all know personally that sort of feeling of, God, how do we do this in this time? How do we make this happen? And I've said it before, but I feel like that part of it is I'm so moved by the engagement of when we made this, how we made this, and the fact that people came out of their houses when not many people were doing that to come to work for good reason and hopefully make the world feel a little better if we could get it all done. So that part, I may be drifting away from the question, but I go on into that territory because I still feel that gratitude every day. I'm sitting on set right now and working with them all out here again, still in the middle of a bit of a mess.
Well, John, congratulations on the PGA Awards nomination.
Thank you.
The series Only Murders in the Building, and thanks for sitting down and chatting with us today.
Thank you so much, Denton. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.